Welcome to the macro of it for the end of the week that started on the 25th of September 2017. Really quiet week, so I'll keep it brief. I think the things you really need to concentrate on are twofold. One of them is actually what's going on politically, and then also what's going on at the Fed. Politically, again, we're now seeing across the globe the same thing happening everywhere, which is that there's more and more pluralism, and there's also now scenarios where governments are really struggling to get majorities to therefore allow them to really move on fiscal policy. The most interesting one is clearly what's gone on in Germany. Angela Merkel has now got her fourth term, and that is actually an outstanding result. It's the longest serving chancellor in German history post-World War II. But again, it's her ability now to sort of deal with the far right of the German sort of population and what that means, and whether or not it just influences the German economy ever so slightly over the next couple of years as they really look to nationalistic policies, very much domestic focus. So watch that space. It's one to watch. And again, across the way, we saw the New Zealanders also having a scenario where they too haven't got a majority in the government and will find a coalition. And again, does that influence their ability to influence, the economic side of what they do? Then the other part, we really need to look at the Fed, and I think you got clarification with regards to what happened with Janet Yellen this week. Her comments clearly allude to the fact that December not only is live, but more likely than not, we'll see a rate rise. Unless something untoward really happens in the market or there is some form of shock, it's very unlikely that they're not going to raise by 25 basis points across the band in December. And the reason you've got to allude to that, and we've spoken about this many, many times, is clearly the impact on wholesale funding globally. Our market, and unfortunately we just do not have the liquidity required to therefore lend out to the amount of loans that we have in this country, and it's why our big four banks do go overseas and actually have to borrow over there. So rate rises in the US will affect you. They will come through indirectly over time, and you will actually see probably the cost of your mortgage or the lending that you're borrowing increase ever so slightly as the borrowing costs of the banks move. So that was basically what this week was about. It's not very huge in terms of actual economic news, but it does affect you on a micro level, and I think that needs to be certainly part of where you think, and therefore where I'm going to end it this week.
Did you know your membership gives you access to our portfolio manager? On the dashboard of the portfolio manager, you will get daily updates on stock announcements, dividend payments, and the most recent articles written about the stocks you hold by our analyst team. Just go to the dashboard under My Portfolio on the InvestSMART website.